Hey guys, so
Brenda Unu is a writer and a certified architect with over 16 years experience. She is a graduate of Ampersand University Economics. Brenda coaches women on writing and time management. In Brick by Brick, Brenda uses her storytelling skills and experiences to explain the nitty-gritty of building a house. Brenda, nice to have you on Channels Book Club.
Super excited to be here.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Architect Brenda, you guys don't call yourself, you don't use your titles, do you?
You know, some people do, and when we were in school, we had to call our lecturers architect. But in the professional world, we don't do that.
You don't really do that.
Yeah.
What's it like being an architect? By day, you're an architect. By night, you write.
Right.
You've written six books, right?
Six books apart from this one.
Apart from this, so this is your seventh.
Right.
I mean, I know it is very tedious, very difficult, very challenging, to be an architect. You're constantly thinking of ideas, designing ideas, and meeting with clients and all that. So, how do you juggle that with doing architecture during the day, writing during the night, and you've written up to 7?
Right. How do I juggle it? I'd say that writing comes easily to me. I tell people a lot.
hey Brenda, it's good to see you here. Thank you so much. We have watched a clip of your exploits on TV, so it's good to have you here. People I told people that you're my troublemaker, right? You always
Don't mind you. I'm not troublesome. I mean, do I look troublesome?
it's not written on the face, as they say. Good to have you here. Thank you so much for accepting to do this with us. We are going to have a very beautiful conversation this evening. So, good evening to you guys. If you are in Nigeria or in any West African country, good evening. If you are in the US or in another part of the world, please accept whatever good day, good afternoon, good night, whichever. All right. So, today we are having a conversation again with Brenda Unu on this. This is a conclave where I'm sitting down and I'm having conversations with authors that have been published by the Warrior brand, as you can see on my shirt here. And the theme of this conclave for the next 22 days, we are going to be talking to different authors on how they are authoring themselves into authority, fame, and wealth. So it's authoring yourself into authority, wealth, and fame. So that's what we are going to be discussing. All from we started yesterday. I started yesterday with the DLA Kingsley, and we're going to be doing this up until the 28th of December. Amazing time, 6 p.m. every day, West African time. Amazing conversations we'll be having with all the authors that I'll be sitting down with. And we look forward to being of great help, inspiration to a lot of individuals who are very knowledgeable and inspiring them to put their works into written books that can help them and also help humanity. So, Brenda, congratulations. You have written quite a number of books, and I'm glad I'm here sitting down with you. So my first question will be, or my first question is this: you're an architect. What has an architect got to do with writing books? You're not a writer, see, right? See, I mean,
Right.
you didn't go to school to study English language. Neither did you go to study literature and English. So you didn't do
No,
creative arts. You didn't do theater arts. What
no.
made you to author a book, being that you're an architect? Because a lot of people think, oh, architect, she has nothing to do with authoring books. Tell me.
So my story is very funny, and because I started writing by writing fiction, right? I've always loved to write from when I was a kid, but I started writing fiction, and because stories come naturally to me, so I was always writing stories. And then I came across the Dawn, and we got talking. But even at that time, when I came across the Dawn, I had started teaching architecture on Facebook and Instagram because teaching comes naturally to me, and I'm the kind of person that I like to share everything that I know with people. So I was teaching about different things. I had two running shows then. One I called what do architects, waiting architects they do safe, and the other one ask your architect. So basically it was every week, and I was teaching one thing or the other about architecture because I just think that people needed to know more what an architect can do for you and how it will make your building so much better. So I was teaching these things and I was writing fiction. And then the Don just looked at me one day and said, I don't understand. It's a no-brainer. Shouldn't you be writing a book on architecture? And I'm like, no, architecture is just a technical subject. How would I write a book on it? And but he had sown the seed, and it kept on ringing in my head, like, write a book on architecture, write a book on architecture. He even said to me that all the posts you had been writing, I can just put them together and it will become a solid book, because I was really teaching serious stuff. And I said, no, 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 I want to do something different. And then it hits me. I was good at telling stories, and I was good at teaching architecture. Why not nudge you too? So I came up with this book, Brick by Brick. It is simply the story of a couple who wanted to build their own house and how they moved from one step to another. So if you like stories, it will tell you a story. If you want to learn about your building of a house, it will teach you how to build a house. So it was just a full, long story. Basically, I was able to merge my storytelling with. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. If I go off the screen, it's just for you
It
to
doesn't
be
matter. Okay.
just there. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, so basically it was me just merging my storytelling skills with my architecture knowledge and being able to give the world a book that can help them. And it is in such simple language that you've never seen architecture being taught that easily before. I mean, the number of people that have read the book keep on coming back to me to say, oh my God, if every professional could do something like this with what they know, the world would be full of knowledge. So thank you again, John, for pushing me along that path. I totally enjoyed writing this book, and I'm always happy whenever I get the feedback from the book. And I knew that it was God sent.
Fantastic. So I want to also write on that particular book of yours, which I'm glad that you actually wrote that book. Has it made you famous among architects? What has it done for you? I mean, has it grown your influence amongst them? Are they like looking at you? Ah, this is a senior babe, or, this one, that kind
You
of
know,
thing. And also amongst people who want to build their own houses, I mean that they are looking at you as a reference point now. What has that book really done for you in terms of your fame, your influence amidst your contemporaries?
it's it's a very good thing that you would ask that. To be honest, when you were telling me to write this book, I thought it was just a case of this is done. You can like to disturb people, but I can't tell you enough what this book has done for me. It has positioned me as an authority in architecture. As in, okay, granted, I know I'm a good architect, right? I'm quite smart. I know this. However, because I could write a book from beginning to end about this process, it immediately started gravitating people towards me. I would have people come to me and say, oh, my husband and I have been in a house, and I've told him I know the finest architect in town, and you have to be the one to build our house. As in, it would be amazing. People that, okay, fine, those are people that know me. What are people that don't even know me who reach out to me and say, oh, I want you to build my house? And I was like, okay. I mean, I even had existing clients who now trusted me with even bigger work. As in, amazingly, even in a body of architects, I started getting, interested. I started getting called to talk to people about stuff. They put up my book in every event that we had. I was being invited to, just do things. Like before, I was almost unnoticed. But by the time I authored the book, and it was like, they read it, and everybody's like, this is solid stuff, and it just changed everything. It changed everything. I mean, I got influence that I never expected to get. I got authority because it was simply like, in fact, nowadays, if you come to me, they want to build a house, I gift you the book. Like I said to you that if I'm going to build your house, you get it for free. If I don't build your house, you're going to pay for it, right? So, and when they read the book, because it's so detailed, they're like, okay, for the fact that you could give me this book, knowing that I'm going to rate your services based on this, then you must be a pretty good architect. And they're ready to work with me. It almost immediately seals the deal. And there are things I didn't even know I needed to look out for. Amazing. I had friends who told me that, oh, after reading your book, I went to my husband to buy a piece of land and I knew the questions to ask. I sounded so intelligent. I'm so happy. All of these things are the things that give me joy, that makes me happy and excited that I wrote the book. And I keep on. So from that day, I started preaching to everybody. Like, excuse me, if you're a professional, if you know anything about anything, you should put it in the book. It turns your business around. It just simply you can't even imagine what it does for your business or what it does for you as a person. So if you know anything about anything, if you're a professional, please write a book. If you know anything about any particular thing, have any particular skill, write a book. As in, I can't say it enough. I'm shouting it and I'm preaching to everybody that wants to hear. If you know anything about anything, write a book, because it gives you a stamp of authority, and it just changes everything from there.
Brenda, what do you think? What do you think is making individuals who know that they are very knowledgeable? Like for me, I decided that I just sent off a manuscript now because I think these are
Yeah.
myths. Actually, a manuscript, just a short ebook about 16 pages. On my experience, the things I did when I was working in the oil servicing company before I resigned. How I
Okay.
was able to keep my job for the 10 years, the kind of things I did, studying,
Mm,
improving myself, relating with my fellow employees, relating with my bosses, all those things, which were my own peculiar, unique perspective and approach to being able to keep my job. So I put all those
mm,
things into a short ebook, like a manual for those who are getting jobs. I mean, those who are intending to get new jobs, or those who are just
mm.
leaving NYC to get new jobs. But the thing is this: a lot of individuals are still they are still hesitating about putting what they know, their knowledge, in form of books. Is it because they feel that authors do not have money, or I mean, what do you think is making people hesitate? Using your case as an example, I know you were hesitated at some point.
I
Not
hesitated.
to have So what do you think? What do you think could be their challenges, making them not to truly take that step to start to document and put their knowledge into books?
I think it's two things mainly, two main things. The first thing is that many people have what we call imposter syndrome. That is the feeling that they are not enough. The feeling that, why should I write a book? Who is going to read my book? Do I know enough to write a book? Am I that expert, in this thing that I want to teach about? And the answer to that is very simple. Whatever you know is enough, because what you know is certainly more than somebody who is on zero level, right? So if, for example, you have 2 years or 5 years experience in something, the person that is starting tomorrow, right? You know 5 years more than the person, so you can help the person. Granted, there's somebody that is 15 years above you that you have to look up to, but there's somebody under you that you can help. So just be clear on who your target market is, who you want to help, and you can help them with whatever information you have. So that's number one. The feeling like I'm not enough, or I don't know enough, or I'm not expert enough, or who's going to listen to me, who's going to buy my book. That's the number one reason. And the number two reason is they don't know how. And granted, people like me and you have written many books, so it seems like it comes easily to us. And we always wonder, what do you mean by you don't know how? Just open your page and write. I mean, I typed a whole book on my phone once, 40,000 words on my phone before it ever got into the computer. So when people say they don't know how, I'm like, what are you talking about? So I made it my life duty to teach people how. I know that you do that as well. So because there's so much, everybody has a book in them. Everybody. I'm hounding my children to write books. I've sat down with my husband and I said, he's turning 50 soon. I said, a book has to come out of you, even if I will squeeze it out myself. Everybody can write a book. So the teaching of the how is what we have to help the world with, because even some people have even written books on how to write a book. So I think it's those two main things, really. It's those two main things for many people.
And imposter syndrome. I mean, I don't really know. I don't really know how why that thing affects a whole lot of individuals. I mean,
It
this is your
does.
knowledge, something you've gotten. This is something that is with you, and you're just releasing it to the world. So I'm wondering why people feel that they can't pass information across. For me, for every kind of knowledge that I get, I find out that, for example, the training that I am selling on the 25th of December, which is Christmas Day, came as a
Mm,
result of two questions that people asked me. And you can imagine that I was paid to go and stay in Protea Hotel. They paid for me to be transported from here privately to Weri and
mm,
back. I was put in Protea Hotel for 2 nights. I
mm,
was fed for 2 days, and then I
mm,
sat on the panel for only 30 minutes. And I think I
mm,
spoke for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes out of the entire session. And the two questions out of one of the two questions, okay, the two questions were, how was I able to do the tours in the different cities within Namibia?
okay.
Second question was, how was I able to build my audience to that number? I mean, when you look at my Facebook now, it's getting 76,000. Those are the two
It's a
questions.
valid question.
Exactly. Very two valid questions. And after that, I was also invited to another event, and that was the same. So I was like, if people are asking me these questions, it means that there's something they are seeing about me that I can share with the world. So I decided that I was going to do it in video format. And I hired a videographer, and over a period of a few hours, I sat down and the camera was in my phone. And I did 30 videos. I did 30 videos, just sharing. Each of the videos is about just 3 minutes each. Just sharing what I have been doing to be able to build my audience, connecting with people, creating content, working with influencers, just sitting down and just the same way we're having conversation now before the camera and just sharing. And trust me, close to 400 individuals have paid to have access to those videos, but I'm yet to reach it. I'm looking towards getting almost 1,000 people to pay before 25th of December. And this is about me. This is my life. This is my experience. These are things that I'm doing. Why should I now be having imposter syndrome concerning the things that I have legitimately experienced? I'm trying to understand why it happens to individuals because I don't know. I don't really
It's a
understand.
real thing. I'll tell you, it's a real thing. And this is why I tell people, sometimes people think, oh, maybe for example, now, when I teach people how to write, imagine me saying, oh, I didn't even learn literature in school. I didn't take literature as a subject. How can I teach people how to write? Do you understand? It is things like that that makes people feel that they're almost feeling like, I don't have a certificate to show that I can do this. So why should I go and teach people that? So that's the issue. People are waiting to be validated by a certificate or something or the other. But I tell people that people that want to learn from you only need two things: your results, your results, your results, your results. That's all they need. And if you in your experience, you can teach them what you know by what you've learned from experience, and it's giving results. That's all they need. Nobody needs a certificate. What are we doing with a certificate? There are half of people that have certificates that don't even know how to teach. They don't know how to break it down so that other people can learn. Because it's one thing to have the knowledge, another thing to teach. So the teaching is also a different thing on its own. So if you can't teach, you have the experience, what are you waiting for? You're leaving money on the table by not sharing these experiences, because it's a whole money industry on its own. The knowledge industry is a multi-billionaire dollar industry, and you're just cheating yourself by not being a part of it.
Exactly. So you see now, before the videos even coming out, and those videos, I'm going to turn them into a book because some individuals don't want to watch videos, to have it. And I'm releasing 5 books next year. All right. Three of the books. One of them is, people have been asking me, how did you leave paid employment to do what you're doing now? So I said, okay, let me write that. Second is to write a book where I'm collaborating with Nambi, how we did our tours, because I know some individuals want to do tours also.
Yes.
Understand what we did, how we raised teams, what we did, what we spent, and all that kind of. And then this one about how to build a social media audience that gives you money, because people kept asking, and this is my legitimate experience. I mean, it's peculiar to me, so you can learn from this individual, add mine to yours, add from this individual, and then you become a full body of knowledge. You reduce your trials,
the time of trial, exactly.
Reduce the time of trials and reduce your learning curve, which is something that will be very important to you. So for guys, as you're watching us right now, please go ahead and share this live stream, and please go ahead and follow Brenda. Brenda is on Facebook as Brenda Unu. She's an amazing woman. She's beautiful. I only watch her during her birthdays, because she's only February during her birthdays.
I knew you'd say that.
Do like 20 different. I mean, if you want to know how to do birthday shots, you have to follow Brenda.
It's not my fault I don't know how to do birthday pictures. It's not my fault.
Every year looking at for your birthday, so I can see from morning till evening. Oh my God. She's an amazing woman. She's amazing, totally amazing. Please go and follow her. I love her jovial spirit. I love how she's warm and caring. Please follow her on Facebook. Brenda Unu is her name, and you'll be glad that you did. So, Brenda, what I want to ask now is, what is the connection? So, you've written a book. Is it automatic? Does it mean automatically that you become wealthy? Will you become famous? Will you automatically gain authority just because you authored a book? What are your takes on that?
So I'd say that writing the book is literally the first start. You're just starting. The next step is to get the book into the hands of the people that need it. And so there are many ways to earn from your book. And the first one is the easiest, which is just selling the book, right? So if you sell the book, now imagine this, my book, I was selling for 5,000. It's now 6K. But just imagine this book, 5,000. How many 5,000 will I sell to be able to get rich? Like, it's really going to be hard. So the selling of your book is literally just the first step in the ladder of the wealth you can get from the book. It's number one. So yeah, sell the book, put it in as many places as possible, get it on bookstores, people that have higher reach than you, sell it through them, right? Don't go to one person, go to people that, maybe there's a whole community that needs your book, sell to that community so the person can sell to more people. Because at the end of the day, if you sell one, how many one can you get that to get the money that you need? So that's one. Number two is to start speaking about the things you have taught in the book. And when you start to speak about it, people start to call you for more. So speaking is another arm of earning money from your book. Because this is how many chapters? I don't even know. Imagine taking one chapter each. I have a YouTube series that I've done, and I've taken parts of this book and I've done them into videos. Because some people say, "Oh, I don't want to read. I don't want to read." So I've done them into 7-minute videos, and with a lot of there's plenty pictures and things, and it's really been very interesting. I first did it into 1-minute videos, and then I've expanded into 7-minute videos for each of these topics, and the teachings have gone a long way. And guess what? Those videos have earned me speaking rights. People have called me to come and speak to my certain people. The other day I spoke to a group of oil workers in Oman, not Nigeria, Oman, and I spoke to them about how to invest in real estate, what they needed to look out for, all from authoring this book. People call me and say, come and speak to people on this, on that, and I get paid. It's not free. I'm collecting money, right? So you can earn from speaking about the things you've written about in your book. So number one, sell your book. Number two, speak about things and earn from speaking. Then number three, because you are speaking about it, it is positioning you in authority, right? And so people will now come to you for the service that you say that you render, right? So, for example, I'm an architect, and that's my daily job. I'm not allowed by law to advertise as an architect. It's not allowed. It's actually against the ethics. So I cannot come to Facebook and say, I'm an architect. Come and design your houses for me. Call 080. Can you come? I will immediately be yanked, as in my certificate will be, not my certificate, my certificate, but not the school one. The one that certifies me to practice will be removed from me. My license, thank you. My license will be revoked. So I cannot go and advertise. But guess what? I can talk about my book. I can teach you stuff. And then people can see that I know it, and they can give me work. So it's brilliant. I get work that, in places where I never expected. I've gotten called by people from places, as in, I don't know, places outside my normal domain. What architects typically do is to join social clubs, and that's where you meet clients, right? So maybe I would have gone to a create club, I would have signed up for squash or golf or tennis or something, so I can meet people. If I was a guy, I would go out in the evening and go and drink at a bar so I can meet people. But I'm a mother of 4 children. I don't have time for all of those things, right? So in writing my book has gone far beyond places where I could go to, and has gotten people calling me for work. So what are we looking for? It's not to get the work. So number 3, your book gives you authority and gives you more business. So whatever kind of business you're doing, you've done it for long enough, you know something about that, write a book. It brings more business. It's a no-brainer. So that basically is the way that you can actually make something out of your book. It's not just by writing it. Writing is the very first start, but there's much more you need to do.
Fantastic, Brenda. I love your voice, your energy, the way you are doing it. Well, okay. So the next question I want to ask you is this. I loved what you did. You are even doing Beyond Us. That gave you some tips. I remember when you were flying. I think you were traveling to UK or something, and then you
Yes.
wore your shirt
Mhm.
of your, and you told me that by the time you landed, someone inside the plane had
bought.
had bought a copy of the book. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
There were places I went to, and they were asking me how I do, and I tell them we do unorthodox marketing, right?
Mhm.
Um, Even this shirt that I'm wearing now, Warrior, I've even told them that this is not really projecting the message that I wanted to project enough. So they are working on the design so that just by the time you all look at the shirt, you automatically understand what it is that they are
What we
about.
do. Mhm.
Exactly what you do, what your book is all about. And I love that it was unorthodox. I've told individuals that I've sold my books before in a wedding, at a wedding before. So I went with 20 copies of my books. And when I went there, as people were having conversations, I mean, my classmates, and they were all talking about what they were doing in life and all that kind of stuff. And then they asked me, and I said, yeah, I write books. So in fact, I came with my books here. And many of them were like, I work in Shell, I work in Jeep, I work in this. So I brought like
I think I've lost you. Can you still hear me?
Can you hear me, Brenda?
Okay, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Network is a bit. Can you hear me now, Brenda?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
I can hear
So
you.
they bought, and then I went back home with money. So people went
Right.
to spray money on people, and I was going with money. So unorthodox. So tell us, share with us efforts that you have been putting in to have your book in the hands of many people. Because once you have written a book, you still need to do some work to be able to get that book in the hands of
Yeah.
people. It's not just sitting down there and expecting the book to get in the hands of people. It's not magical. So share with us, maybe
Some
one,
methods
two,
I've
three,
used.
five things you've been doing to get your book into the hands of
Okay. So for me, number one is that I always have copies of my book in my car. So anywhere you find me, I would have a copy to sell to you. Now, apart from having the copies of book in my car, I'm always talking about my books. I mean, there's not so. If I go somewhere to speak, definitely I have copies of my book, and I've had to speak about a certain topic that had nothing to do with the books I had with me. But I referenced the fact that somewhere along my life I wrote a book. As soon as the talk was over, they rushed to me. Do you have copies of that book with you? Hello, of course I do. I sold the books on the spot, and the topic I went to discuss in that speaking engagement had nothing to do with the book. So it's just amazing. Like you said, if you just meet people, say to them what you do. I've been on a vacation before. I was lying down by the pool and I was holding my book, one of my fiction books. I have it here. I opened it and I was reading it. And the lady came up to me and said, "Oh my God, that book looks beautiful. What is it about?" And she looked and said, "Is that you?" I said, "Yes, it's my book." Oh my God. She took it off me, like that particular one I was reading. She paid for it and took it off me. So you can sell your book from every way like that. But however, all these one sales are not what is going to get you there. You need to be thinking outside the box of ways to get more copies into the hands of more people. So think of fairs. If you see where they're talking about, oh, they're doing a book fair today, take your books along with you. You can sell books there. I mean, I have written children's books as well. So I go to schools. When they're having book day, they call me and say, "Oh, come and speak to the children about writing, about reading." I go there, I speak, and the children buy the books. Their parents buy the books. So have a way that put your books in a bookstore, so that even people that can't reach you, you'll be able to tell them my book is in XYZ store. There are many bookstores. Warsaw is opening a book. Warsaw has a bookstore, but they're even opening an app where you can actually sell your book faster. Put your books there. I place my books there. Plus the ones they publish for me and the ones they didn't publish for me, I placed all of them in their bookstore. Sell for me. Put your books in the bookstore so you can point people to it and say, "My books are here." It gives you a kind of credibility. It doesn't look like you're just selling off your boot alone. My books are in the bookstore. It's important. They also talk to people. Right? Look for places where you can place your book and people can get orders. Like, for example, this is my real estate. My book is in real estate. So I wrote to some real estate firms and said to them that, what, you want to, if you're doing a promo so time, when people buy land, for people, the ones that sell land, not the ones that sell houses, when people buy land, they can get this book from you as a promo. And for me to give you this book, I can even brand your name, as the real estate people selling land to the couple inside the book. I will create copies for you and it comes to you as XYZ premium. And I got people ordering 500 copies because they want it. Do you understand? You have to think out of the box, creative ways to get your book sold. Because at the end of the day, we need the money. I mean, you cannot just write book and you're looking and you're not making anything. We need the money. So you have to think of creative ways to sell to multiple people at a time. Because my coach will say, everybody makes money, but it's the speed with which you make the money that makes you wealthy. So you have to think about ways to make your book sales happen faster than if you just kept it in your house and you're selling it one. So these are all the different things I've done. I mean, I've talked to people. I keep on talking to people. I keep on writing to organizations and offering my books, offering what I have. So it's just a never-ending marketing. You cannot be shy if you've written your book. If you're shy, I don't know how to help you. You have to carry your marketing on your head. You have to wear your t-shirts. You have to say it everywhere you go. I'm an author. So these days, I always lead by introducing myself as an architect, but I don't fail to add I'm an author. And they're like, author? One woman was talking to me one day, and she just Googled me. And she's like, oh my God, you've written 7 books. You're on Amazon. She was ordering the book as she was talking to me, and she had been talking to me about designing a house for her. Of course, there's only one book that's on architecture. The woman ordered all the books I've ever written, and she was really ready to deal with me immediately. So, I mean, it's just a no-brainer. Don't be shy about it. Talk about it. Talk about your books everywhere you go. And, you never know who will link you to the one person that will make you blow.
Exactly. You're very right. Because just one linkage can just, skyrocket everything that you've been doing. One linkage can make the
Absolutely.
entire difference you get. So, my last question is this for you tonight as we begin to wrap up. How somebody will ask you now, okay, Brenda, you've written a book. How can I actually write my own book? So I'm a doctor. How can I write my book? I'm a politician. How can I write my book? What can you say? What steps can you share that someone can undergo to be able to write his or her own book? Looking at you as an example, you're an architect and you've been able to write a fantastic book. You've published many books. What steps can they take to be able to? Simple steps that can make them want to author their own
Okay.
books.
Okay, fine. This is my bread and butter. Like I told you, I teach people how to write books. So this is a simple question for me. So if you are a professional and you want to write a book, first of all, you have to decide what you want to teach in this book. What will people get from your book? And once you decide that, like me, architecture is so broad and so wide, but what I want to teach in this particular book was how to build your own house. So it's a house. I'm not telling you about how to build a skyscraper. I'm not saying about how to build an office block or a block of flats. That's not what I'm teaching. You have to have a particular thing you're teaching in the book. Decide. Once you've decided on what you want to teach, you now have to decide how you want them to learn it. What are the processes you want them, the steps you want them to take them along the journey. So first thing, you introduce them to the topic. Second thing, this is what they need to learn next. Find your learning outcomes and string them in a logical way. Then next, ask yourself, how do you want this book to sound? Should it be very formal? Should it be informal? Like my book is semi-formal. It's Channels gave me an award for top 20 book of the year, and they put my book under fiction. I wanted to cry. I'm like, this is my book fiction. How can it be fiction? It's not fiction. I can't call it fiction. But guess what? It's a story. There's a beautiful story that if you ignored at the end of each chapter, I have what we call a home lesson. I have a home lesson and I have an exercise at the end of each chapter. So when you finish reading the story, I draw you back into the lesson that you're supposed to learn so that you don't forget it. It's a beautiful story. It can take you away. So decide how you want to write your book. Do you want to tell a story? Do you want to tell a series of stories? Do you want to tell one long story, teaching the lessons as you go, or a series of stories teaching each particular lesson? I'm writing another book now, and it has a series of lessons I want people to learn. And they're very unconnected. So it's going to be different stories. It won't be like Big by Big, there's one long story. It's going to be different stories. And let's say you don't even know how to write stories. It's okay. You can teach directly without writing long stories. It doesn't have to be a story. Me, I'm a story writer. As I'm a storyteller, that's why I chose this method. You can choose, you pick up books. We all read books now. Look for a book that you like the way it comes, the way it goes. Like my Big by Big was inspired by Arese Ugu's Smart Money Woman. She was teaching us finance and she was telling us the story of these beautiful girls. And I just connected to this. And that's how I formatted my own book. So pick up a book that you think you like the way it goes and try to format your own in the same way. Don't copy story. I didn't send you to go and copy story. I just said pick up something that would inspire the format of your book and just format your book in the same way. Like now, if she picks up my book, she will never be able to tell that it was inspired by her book. She will never be able to, because it's so different. However, I know what I picked when I read that book that day. So just decide how you want the story to go and then start. You know what? The best time to start your book was yesterday. The next best time is now. Start. And you can start anyhow. What I personally do is to write on my phone. I type on the notes pad of my phone and I type everywhere, everywhere. And if I'm in traffic and I'm not the one driving, I'm typing. If I'm waiting for a meeting to start, I'm typing. If I wake up first in the morning, I'm typing on my book. Before you know it, you've done 1,000 words, 2,000 words, 3,000 words. Before you know it, you're on 40,000 words, depending on how long you want your book to be. But write, start to write everywhere you find yourself. If you are the kind of person that writes on a laptop, fine, write on a laptop. But for me, the phone is handy and I can do more before it gets to the laptop. But my point, my dear people, is that you should write. And I had this amazing guide that helps you if you're a very busy professional. You don't have time. You're very busy. You cannot sit down like a mechanobis and write a book in 3 days because you just put all your time. You have a day job. You have a busy business. You cannot do that. I have a beautiful product that helps you, that guides you and keeps you accountable and teaches you the process step by step so you can write a whole book in 3 months while doing what you do, while being busy. The book will come out in 3 months guaranteed. It's an amazing product. Hit me up and I'll send you a copy of it. It's not free, but I mean, these are just the ways that I help people because I am a busy person. I've told you before, I'm a mother of four. I have a full-time job. I have businesses I'm running on the side. And so for me to be able to produce books, it has to take intentionality. And you are not busier than me. You can write your book too. Let me show you how.
Amazing, amazing, Brenda. I'm so excited about how you have shared these processes. I mean, writing books is even sweet for me. All right, all around me are books, and I'm always constantly reading, getting better. And next year, I've decided I'm going to do at least minimum 2 ebooks every month,
Okay.
minimum. So at the
Right.
most, I can do two ebooks, and it would be nice because you find out that by the end of the year, if you have 24 ebooks, I mean, you could have like a bundle. You can bundle your books, and
Mm-hmm,
people. For
mm-hmm.
example, what I want to do next year with the 5 books is to bundle all of them. So
Okay.
if you have um if you want to get the whole entire bundle, if the book is if each of them is 5K, let's say for example, and
Mm,
you want to buy the 5 of them, single like that means you're
mm,
spending 25K. But on that particular day of launch, you could have 20K for all the 5 books, or even
right.
who knows, you may decide to do it for 15, and then you
Mm.
have a bag, like you can pack all the books.
You've given me
Just
an idea. I'm going to bundle.
yeah,
I'm going to do a bundle too. Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
just solely for those who will buy the bag will be designed so well, like a pepper them kind of bag, solely for those who
Yeah,
decide to buy
to buy the
the
whole thing.
entire bundle, for that day. Maybe something else you can put in next something else like extra stuff. So, for example, if you have like these video trainings that I am doing right now, I can put all of
Mm.
them in a flash drive, right, and put it in their bag. So when they go home, they can watch how to build your audience or whichever, just training,
Right,
just something
right.
additional. I'm still thinking how to, flesh out and plan out everything. So having as many books as ever. I remember the pastor that I spoke with. This guy has more than 120 20 books, not even ebooks. And
Ha!
he said to me, he's a very popular pastor. He even lives in Lagos.
Mm,
I'm trying to remember Pastor BC or something. I can't remember. He made a comment on one of Mutefe's posts, and I went
yeah.
there and I commented, and that was how I didn't know that the man knows who I am. I mean, the man knew me and said he has been seeing the kind of works I've been doing and all that, and it was amazing.
Mm,
And so he said he was invited to go and speak in Warri in a church.
mm.
He's a pastor actually, and he said he hired a truck to take his books from Lagos because he knew the number of individuals who are going to come for that
I'll be
conference.
there.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and he was to speak for 3 days, three good days, different
Mm.
topics. He said he made that the honorarium that they gave him was about 400,000, 500,000, but he made 4 point something million in the 3 days from his books
From
alone.
selling his
So
books.
yes, I'm selling
Oh
his
my
book.
God.
When the books are spread like that, either you buy this one, you must buy this one. You buy. So
Yes.
there must be something someone is going home with out of that. So that's the kind of thing I want to do for myself. Have as many so that
As
when people
many
come
as
to
possible.
an event, even if you're not picking your book we sell, you say, okay, I'm not an author. You're picking how to grow an audience that gives you money. You're picking something
Mm,
else. So have
mm-hmm.
an array of books, and that's how you can make money. So the bundling thing is beautiful. It's what I'm looking out to do. And then every month, people are looking out to getting your ebooks every month, towards the end of the
Right.
month. you are launching to, you're putting out there, and people are. So
It's
it's a
brilliant.
beautiful, it's a very beautiful thing to become an author. And as you said, it's not about the title of writer; it's about the fact that you've got something inside of you that the world
To
needs.
share.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Brenda. So, in wrapping up, what are your takes? Share with us form of advice for those who are here, who are watching us today, who are still held bound from not taking this step to put their knowledge in form of books, their experiences in form of books. As we are going into 2023 now, is it a good decision? Is it a resolution that you have to put as per what some of the things that you have to do in 2023?
Absolutely. For me, I'd say that if you have any form of knowledge at all and you haven't written a book, you should seriously consider doing that. And stop telling yourself all those stuff like nobody's going to buy my book or who's going to listen to my book or whatever else. I mean, I walked into a lady yesterday and she wrote a book about love. It's a children's book. Incidentally, I had set the theme of my family for the month for my family as love. And I was looking for ways to teach them what love was. And she had broken it down easily in a children's book. So it was a no-brainer. I just bought the thing, 5K. I came to teaching my children. Every morning we read one page. Love is this, that, we have the conversations. And if she had said, oh, who am I to teach about this? Would she have been able to serve my purpose? God has put in each of us a message for you to share with the world. If you do not write your book, you will be like that servant who went back to the master with his one talent after hiding it under the ground. You are going to go back to God and show him what did you do with what he has deposited with you. You absolutely and totally need to write your book. If you don't know how, reach out to us. We can help you. If it is you don't have time, reach out still. We do ghostwriting. There are enough people that do ghostwriting that can help you, even if you send them voice notes of what you want to write. You have no excuse, people, no excuse for not sharing with the world your significant experience, your peculiar experience, your skill or your passion. What is that one thing that if they wake you up, you're ready to give people for free? You can do it easily for free without even asking for money. You should write a book about it. What's that peculiar experience you had? Did you have it maybe by CS and maybe you had one thing that happened to one thing, one kind of complication and you came back from it? Tell us. Did you survive cancer? Tell us. Did you, even if it's something not as bizarre as that, something as simple as how you were able to get your first job from, doing a certain interview. There's nothing that is useless because there's somebody somewhere waiting for that information to change their life. So you absolutely, absolutely need to write your book now and share with the world that experience that God has blessed you with. Otherwise, you're going to answer to him in heaven. I'm not going to be there to help you.
Fantastic. I think we have a question here, so I think we'll take that question now. Abdurrahman Adekunle is asking, do you have any specific advice for writing books on academic excellence for high school students and then getting sponsors to finance the distribution? More of community service kind of thing, actually.
I mean, if you have a topic already, right? You want to write about academic excellence for high school students. It's a no-brainer. Parents will buy it. I will buy it. I have 2 high school children. I will buy your book, right? So what you need to do is to get up and just write it. When you do write it, if you're looking for how to sponsor it, you don't have money to sponsor it, no problem. Go and look for pre-order system. Do the pre-order system. That's what we do. When we don't have money to print our books, we do pre-orders. We start making noise about the book 2 months before the book comes out. Making noise, telling everybody, come and buy it at a reduced price, and then you get it by so and so time. And it's their money we used to go and print. So don't look for who will pay for the book. Granted, you could get maybe UNICEF or USAID to pay for it, but that's a long thing. I don't know if you know anybody that can take you there. If you find them, excellent. If you don't find them on your own, you can do pre-orders and raise the money for printing the books. And then go to schools. I tell you, it's a no-brainer. I have 2 high school students. I know what I'm driving them with every day to get them to, excel academically. I will buy the book. Parents will buy the book. So please, my brother, do not waste any more time. Get on it immediately. Okay? God bless you.
I love the issue of the pre-order. Do you know that for the videos, I was charged 300,000 naira for those videos, and I said to my PA that money was going to come from people for me to be able to pay the
Yes.
guy from the pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
She was looking at me. I'm like, okay, what? Just do it. You get,
Mm-hmm.
and before you know it, 100 people had paid. That was 200,000. Raised before she made 150. That was 300,000. And then I was able to pay the guy, and the videos will be out. And now we are still marketing, even at, so I increased the fee from 2,000 to 3,000. People are still paying. And you know one thing, when you start increasing the fee like that, people start rushing, boom, 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 so they don't want to miss out on paying
Get your
less.
next increase.
Yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to increase again to 4K in about a week and or so, and then keep it like that till December when I eventually Christmas Day when I eventually do the launch. So what you said about pre-order is critically is it's absolutely a powerful way strategy to be able to raise money even if you don't have money. I think, and also I think it's connected to people that you what so to people and to audience. So I remember one of the Warrior Talk authors also that before his book came out, even before he even started writing out on social media, he had to call his friends and said to them, "You have to buy a pack of 10." I don't know if you remember the guy. It was a time we had a conclave. The guy came
Yeah.
and shared how he listed all his friends, and then he started calling them, and they started buying in packs. So a pack of 10 was 60K. And so he was able to do 1,000 copies of the book even before starting his marketing on social media. So the people you have in
Yeah.
your life, and then your audience. So your audience in terms of the number of individuals who are following your work, who are connected to what you're doing, who love you for what you're doing. Someone like me, I have a huge audience, and I'm still I'm improving and increasing the number of people who are following me. So when you now have something to launch out there, and then you put it out and say, "Hey guys, I'm launching this on so and so date. But if you get in now, you're gonna get it for. So if you're going to launch at 5K, if you get in now, you're gonna get it at 1K or 2K, and then people start to buy and buy and buy, and that's
It's
the
a
money that they
no-brainer.
do. Before I became brand ambassador for Warrior, that was what I was doing. I said to myself, I wasn't going to go pay immediately to my designer, pay immediately to my before Warrior came into my life. Um, so that was what I was doing. So making all the noise, shouting. I mean,
Yes.
making all the noise, making everybody
Shameless
understand.
market.
You know what I mean? And the people started paying and paying and paying. And then, so, but then now that I'm with Warrior, I really don't have those issues anymore. So I think it's a very powerful strategy for you, Abdul Rahman. Think about it. If you want to get how to grow your audience that will give you money, the training is coming out on the 25th. You can reach out to me and I'll give you the link on how you can join with this group and then you pay. So finally, they're asking, how can we reach you, Brenda? How can we reach you?
Me, my name is Brenda Unu, UNU. You can find me across all social platforms: LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as Brenda Unu. And if you want to send me a private email, I'm brendaunu@gmail.com. Very simple and very easy to reach. In fact, send me a Facebook Messenger. No, 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 no. I will answer
Please
you as
tell
soon as
them
possible.
that those who enter to do hello angle are not allowed to enter.
I'm a marriage mother of four. Urobo people don't play. Urobo man does not joke. Don't even try. If you send me hello, beautiful angel, I will just leave the gist. I won't even answer again. I won't be able to help you that time. So just enter and say, "Good afternoon, Brenda." I know that you are serious. If you come with hello, angel, I will just leave you alone.
No, they don't usually say angelo, it's angle. It's
Angle.
angle.
Angle,
Yeah.
they don't know how to spell it. Angle. Jokers.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Brenda, for tonight. You have been an amazing person right from the time I knew you, right from Continental Hotel in Victoria, London.
Yes,
I met
so yes,
you.
so
No, not there. I think it was before then. No, it was before then. It was in a class, I think, that you came.
yes,
Yeah, it
yes,
was the same
yes.
day. It was this week that we met. I think it was 2017 or 18. I can't remember, but it's been a while.
Thereabouts. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for being amazing as always. Thank you for accepting to be on this session with me. I hope that by virtue of what you've done, people will reach out to you and that you have spread your wings at least to a lot more individuals by virtue of what you've done here. We're going to restream this video again in January and hoping that a lot more individuals will enjoy what we have shared. And as people start doing resolutions in January, they will also start to think about how to pen their books all through the year.
Okay, I think I've lost you.
2023. So, Brenda, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Warita, I tell everybody that I know that Warita is, if you're thinking of writing a book, just pay Warita and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for having
Mm.
me. Thank you for having me. I had fun here today. And I keep on telling everybody, Warita is the best plug for your book because they just take the stress off you. And there are so many perks for being a Warita author. So many perks. I mean, I teach people how to write books. I even publish books for some people. But as soon as I have a client that can pay, I send them to Warita. Like, you know what? Just go. My book has gone to London and no shaking. People even on the train and on the plane are telling me, oh my God, that's such good quality. I've gotten people to tell me to come and do my book for them because they saw the quality of my book. So I don't joke with
Yeah.
Warita. I don't joke with Warita. Warita even gives us experiences. Like they will come and tell you, oh, you have a chance to go on TV, to go and market your book, and they have all kinds of other added on, things that they do for you. So
Bennett,
Warita is a no-brainer. Go and publish a book with Warita. And thank you, Emeka Didon. You were my first ever
thank you.
coach on book marketing. My children even know you. They'll be like, Mommy, this is Emeka Nobi's book. Your coach. I said, yes, my coach. Oh, my coach.
Thank you. My
My
regards
husband
to
is
you
in a
all.
project in Port Harcourt. He's in a project in Port Harcourt. I told him, I said, my coach is in that Port Harcourt, and you go and look for him. He said, Abi, he should come and look for me. What are you talking about? Oh my God.
So guys, this session has been amazing, and it's something that we are doing with Warrital. I am the brand ambassador of Warrital. Brenda is a published author with Warrital, and together we are doing amazing. We love the brand, and that's why we're having this conversation. Not because we've been having conversations amongst us as authors, sharing our experiences that can help us to get better and better and better. But now we are bringing it out to the world to come and give you a taste of what it is that we're experiencing within the World to family.
Warrital.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't know any other publishing company that has a family for its authors and is consistently pushing the authors to do better and make a lot more money. Because I mean, those who write books should be living in the best of houses, in mansions, should be riding the best of cars. I mean, that's what we think we should be doing. And so we love what Warrital is doing, pushing us. That's why I'm wearing this. So go and visit warrital.com and see everything that Warrital is doing. All right. Warrital is spelled WORITAL.com. That's .com. So visit, see all the offers, see what is going on the website there. We're looking forward to welcoming you into the Warrital family. So thank you very much, Brenda. My regards to your husband, my regards to your beautiful kids. Tell them that I'm still your friend, and regards to every one of them. So thank you
Thank you.
for taking out time and having this session with me. I look forward to seeing you again when I get into Lagos, either January or February. Actually, what I'm coming to Lagos for is I want to have a recorded session with on TVC. So I want to pay
Okay.
TVC or what's it called, or Channels TV, and then get the
Okay.
rest of that session and then run Facebook ads to it. So when I'm
Okay.
done, take that session and then I'll post it on my Facebook page, and then I run ads to it. So maybe spending $2 per day or $3 per day, I can target Rwanda, target other English speaking African countries, and just start to spread around across there. So they watch
Brilliant.
the conversation and then they can tune in. So that's part of why I'm coming. So I look forward to seeing you when I come. God bless
Brilliant.
you. Keep
You're
doing amazing
welcome.
work. All right. So from me to
Thank you.
you here in the city of Port Harcourt, to you in Lagos, good night and God bless you.
Bye bye.
Bye.